Your appearance, which suggests that you might wet your clothes from fear, is the one who told me. I'm not afraid of you or your helpers who are with you. I know, Murakib said. You are afraid for this girl whom you are hiding behind your back and trying to protect, and this is exactly what is pathetic. Imagine if she wasn't with you. Wouldn't you have fought at this moment and died bravely as heroes die, instead of us taking you to the elephant's tusk and you dying there humiliated as sheep die? Asif did not speak and remained silent. Murakib continued his psychological warfare. Even she doesn't love you. Shut up, you, Sarabi shouted, agitated. Prove to him that my words are wrong. Look at him and say that you love him. Asif looked at her and she looked away, which confirmed to him that she did not love him. She is right in that she does not love you. You are a creature different from her. He continued his psychological warfare. And why would she fall in love with a creature completely different from her? A monster that might get angry with her one day and eat her with its fangs or tear her with its claws like paper. She knows that you are not fit for anything other than being her guard dog. But when she decides to fall in love, she will choose a person of her own human race. Sarabi whispered in his ear. Don't listen to him. He only wants to. Asif interrupted her before she could finish. I won't be sad if she loved a human creature. The important thing is that she is happy. Nonsense you're saying to comfort yourself, Murakib said coldly. You are too small to know how true love is. Yes, I know, he said sarcastically. It is one-sided, like the love story you are living. I love her to the extent that I want her to be happy and safe. Yes, I wish with all my heart that I was that lucky person who would provide her with everything she needs. But if her happiness is with someone else, I will be delighted, happy, and satisfied for her. Murakib did not know how to respond, so he shouted, Are you going to come with us, or will we use force to take you? The situation was dangerous, as everything could be cancelled if the giant Murakib managed to capture them, but it seemed that there was no other way than to surrender. Asif was about to open his mouth to say that they would come with them voluntarily without the need to use force, but before he could speak, someone was communicating with him at that moment. Stay where you are. I and Tara are on our way to you. So he smiled. Happy because you are going to come with us? Murakib asked, watching the smile. No, but happy that you will not leave this village alive. What do you mean? Have you chosen to confront? Exactly. You won't be able to face us alone. Who said that I would confront you alone? Will you and this weak humanity fight us then? His left eye turned a crimson red, and he said, Look behind you. The answer will come to you. And when the giant Murakib and all the spies looked behind them, they saw in the air a woman with black gypsy hair, interspersed with some strands of gray hair, and a white complexion, tight like the skin of a racehorse. She had calm features and a face that resembled sunset. Standing beside her was a black cobra genie, a frightening shape with a flat head like a Greek shield and cold eyes from which the brilliance of death emanated, and a thin, branched tongue the color of her skin, which she would bring out from time to time while making a terrifying hissing sound. Asif prepared to participate, but Tara suggested something else. Take the girl away from here, and I and Taj will take care of the matter. He carried her in his arms, but before he left, his grandmother spoke. Why didn't you tell me about this girl? Because I knew you would be angry with me if I told you. Do you really love her? Yes, I love her. Damn you, how stupid you are. Didn't my teaching bear fruit in you? It happened despite me. Didn't I teach you to take your need from women and then delete them away? Sarabi is not like the rest of the women. What's the difference? Doesn't she have breasts and a vagina? Taj, what's this talk? Tell me what makes her different from the rest of the women. Here Asif said, What do you think if we leave the matter of these spies aside and you and I fight? Do you want that? Is this what you came here for? Tara intervened. He's right. Let's get rid of these spies first. I will talk to you after we finish with these fools. You stupid fool. Taj said that. And then the battle began, and she and Tara formed an invincible duo in the face of the spies, while Asif moved Sarabi away from the battle arena. And perhaps the preoccupation of Taj and Tara in the fight was the reason that made them overlook the giant Murakib as he sneaked away behind Asif. Asif carrying Sarabi and running toward the house. I'll make sure you're safe with Rosanna. Then I'll go back to help Taj and Tara. You'll be fine. Don't go back to them. Sarabi, I'm not the kind of person who abandons their friends and runs away. Asif, I know, but I'm afraid for you. Getting caught up in that battle. He continued carrying her in his arms, turning right. Sarabi, save your fear for when we start fighting against the elephant's tusk. Asif, will you join them in the fight? Sarabi, did you think I'd just stand by and watch while others fight for my sake? She fell silent for a moment, as if hesitating to tell him what she was thinking. Then, with courage, she said, I'll tell you something about Taj when we get home. Asif, I already know what you're going to tell me. Sarabi, do you really know? Asif, it seems like you're wondering why she was so angry with you earlier, right? There's something else. She hesitated, then confessed. I think she's the woman I saw looking out from the window. She was about to tell him that Taj was the woman she had seen firing the arrow from the window, the one who had killed his father. But before she could reveal the secret, a powerful blow struck Asif from behind, causing him to lose his balance and fall to the ground. He didn't turn to see where the attack had come from. Instead, he jumped toward Sarabi to make sure she was okay. Struggling to stay balanced. He asked, "Are you hurt?" She lifted her head to tell him she was fine, but as soon as she looked in his direction, she screamed, "Watch out behind you." Asif couldn't turn around in time. Another blow hit the back of his head, knocking him unconscious. Sarabi, gathering her courage, began to attack the giant alone, but he easily grabbed her by the neck and lifted her high into the air, cutting off her breath with his grip. She tried to call out to Asif for help, but he was still unconscious and didn't notice her as she gasped her last breaths. Suspended in the air by the giant's arm, Sarabi tried to free her neck from his grip, but it was no use. She moved her pupils to look at Asif, lying on the ground. She reached out a hand as if to touch him one last time, but her arm was too short to reach him. She closed her eyes, ready to depart, and in the darkness, she saw her mother, Firas, smiling at her and saying, "Firas, I've missed you, my daughter." "Sarabi, I've missed you too, mother." "Firas, come with me." She said this, then took her hand and walked with her through a dark space that ended in a white light, like a small spot of light at the end of a dark tunnel. "Sarabi, where are we going?" "Firas, to where I now live." But before the two could go far, Sarabi stopped for a moment, as if remembering something important. She let go of her mother's hand and said, "Wait, I want to tell Asif something before I go with you." She opened her eyes with difficulty, still suspended in the air by the giant's arm. Her body was completely helpless due to the lack of oxygen, and she had no energy left to resist. All she could do was move her pupils toward Asif and say in a choked voice, I love you, Asif. I love you." At that moment, Asif opened his eyes, as if those words had awakened him from a deep slumber. He disappeared from his spot and suddenly appeared behind the giant, sinking his sword-like fangs into the giant's neck, forcing him to release Sarabi. The two engaged in a fierce battle, with Asif stronger than he had ever been before. However, he couldn't defeat the giant, and the fight continued for some time until Taj arrived. "Taj, leave him to me, Asif." Asif stepped aside and went to check on Sarabi, who was lying motionless on the ground. He shook her shoulders, but it was no use. He whispered softly into her ear, as if trying to convince her of something. "Sarabi, don't die." But she didn't respond. He grabbed her head with both hands and shouted, "Please don't go. Say something, Sarabi. Sarabi, Sarabi." Tara approached him and said, "Give her the kiss of life." "Asif, what?" "Tara, air needs to reach her internal organs, or she'll lose them." Asif felt strange hearing this. Tara continued, "She'll die quickly. Blow into her mouth."